Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Got another recipe here. We are going to make mushroom and Swiss smash burgers. And as you can see, we're starting off here with a cast iron skillet, and we're getting it nice and hot. Throwing us, I don't know, 1/2 to 3/4 stick of butter in there. We've already got the mushrooms and onions going on the stove. So those are getting ready. The stick of butter in the cast iron pan is for the additional onions that we're going to be cooking up here pretty quick. As you can see, she's putting them in the pan right now. So basically one whole yellow onion is what we'll be using, and we'll be simmering that down and letting it cook until it get sort of a golden brown color and delicious. And starting on the patties here, so what we do is take a pound of ground beef, and we use very lean ground beef, and it's grass-fed, and we take that pound and make it into 1/4 pound balls here. So divide it in 4, make the balls, and prep those because we make 4 patties, and we put cheese in between and cheese on top. So as you'll see that as we go through this, but we get the balls ready to go here, and then Annette will get those spiced up, and we'll get ready to put them on the griddle. As you can see, she's using a liberal amount of Montreal steak seasoning on the burgers, and now she's getting the buns prepped. Again, lots of butter in this recipe. It is a rich meal, but super delicious. So get all the buns buttered, because those will be cooked in the cast iron skillet towards the end and placed onto the patties. Key component is making sure that your press is oiled. So a little vegetable oil, olive oil, get that liberally coated so the burger doesn't stick. So we're just getting this prepped while the onions are finishing up here. Now getting some mushrooms, and it's a mushroom and onion concoction, so taking those out of the pot that we cooked them in, getting the onions out of the pan, because we're going to use this same pan to do the smash burgers. So all that butter and the onion goodness just adds flavor to the patties, of course. So we're going to get all our onion mix out of there, and sort of put those aside, put them up on the under the warming light to be used later on in the process. Here we go with the burgers. You just drop the ball in the pan, get your press, and push it down on top of the burger. You know, a liberal press. You want to feel that it smashes out, and get your spatula ready. So Annette will like to push it down, gradually rock it down, and then you'll see her spin the top of the press to make sure it's not sticking. After a minute or two, probably closer to 2, you'll get that nice bark on the backside. You can see it sort of sticks to the bottom. That's what you want to see, that crispy bark on the bottom of your smash burger. And then place the press back on. And it's about an 80-20 time limit. So one side gets 80% of the time, the other side gets about 20% of the time, and that's about perfect. And then you add your cheese, and then take it off the heat and set it aside. And we'll do this, 3 more times to get the 4 patties that we need, because we do double-decker smash burgers. And just remember to, as you can see, add a little more oil now and then to make sure that you're not going to have a problem with the press sticking to the meat, because that would just be a mess. Same process, rock it down on that, and then she'll give it a spin here in a minute just to make sure that it's not sticking. Same thing with this one. A minute or 2 in, scrape it off the pan, get that nice bark. And she likes to just move it around through the butter and the juices just to make sure it's not going to stick. And then put the press back on. Again, that 80-20 time frame. You can add a little more butter, as you see here, just keep the juices flowing a little bit. Make sure nothing's going to stick. Again, add your cheese. Take it off the heat. Set it aside. Now the cheese isn't melted right there, and doesn't need to. Once that other burger goes on top of it, it'll definitely start to melt. And then when you add your mushroom and onions on top of the last patty, that really gets melted. So it works out pretty well. Now you can see she's going to put the buns in the same pan. Again, just sort of crisp those up. Burgers are looking good. As you can see, that cheese is a little melty. And when we get the mushrooms and onions on top of that, it'll melt even further. Doesn't take long for the buns to get crispied up a little bit. With all that butter in the pan. We're about ready. We can pull those off and slap a burger on them. Looking good. Get the tops going. Same process. While the tops are cooking, take your mushrooms and onions and liberally coat the top of your burger. As you can see, we love the mushroom and Swiss burgers. And you don't have to do mushroom and Swiss. You could just use cheddar or pepper jack and just be done. Maybe you want to put the onions on. Some people don't like mushrooms, but it's just, we like it, so this is the way we do it. Tell me that doesn't look great. So all we need is the tops, and we'll be ready to chow down. We are ready to have smash burger dinner. Thanks again, everyone, for coming back and checking out the channel. And hopefully your dinner was as good as ours. Thanks again.